going to ask you a series of like what is questions. And if you want to just do a quick 30-second like definition, that would be great. And then we'll come back to your story after our little rapid fire section.
Absolutely.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Okay. All right. What is an advocate?
An advocate is someone who seeks to better inform themselves and better inform their community. It's a whole lot of different things. And there's all types of different advocates out there. Depends. It's somebody who really speaks up for and promotes something. That wasn't a very good definition, but that's all I've got.
Okay. We're going to do one more of this. What is a patient advocate?
A patient advocate is someone who either ensures that they are getting the quality of care and knowledge that they need for their own self, or they help other patients, or they do both.
Awesome. What's MBC?
MBC is metastatic breast cancer. Metastatic breast cancer is stage 4, which means it has spread from the breast to distant sites such as lung, brain, bones, liver, sometimes distant lymph nodes.
What is TNBC?
TNBC is triple negative breast cancer. Basically, it means that the cancer is not fueled by any of the typical biomarkers such as estrogen, progesterone, and HER2.
What's a lymph node?
A lymph node, oh goodness, you're really challenging me. So a lymph node is basically part of our immune system that filters out all of the trash and the junk in your body. Could be viruses, tries to filter out cancer. It's kind of a clearinghouse.
I love that. It's actually a very nice definition. This is why I challenge you. 4.0 GPA. You know, Janice, I get the overachievers to answer these questions. All right. What's Metavivor?
Metavivor is a nonprofit organization whose mission is, there are a couple of different missions, but the most important is that it funds metastatic research for metastatic breast cancer only. So basically, we fund grants, research grants. And we also do peer-to-peer support, and we have other programs that we do as well, but the primary mission is to fund research for metastatic breast cancer.
What's oligometastatic?
Oligometastatic is a term that basically means very few lesions, and the definition has not been standardized, but it in general is about 1 to 5 metastatic lesions in maybe 1 or 2 body systems.
What's overall survival?
Overall survival is an average, basically, of how long a person is expected to live with a certain condition or disease.
What's a recurrence rate?
Recurrence rate is the percentage of people that are at risk to have a recurrence of a disease such as breast cancer.
What's distant recurrence?
Distant recurrence is recurrence of, let's say for breast cancer, distant recurrence means that you have recurrence of your breast cancer that has gone beyond the local and regional lymph nodes, such as in the axilla or the armpit or in the internal mammary chain.
I think you answered my next one. We're going to do it. What's local recurrence?
Local recurrence is a recurrence of your disease either in the same area as the primary site or still within that local regional area.
What is Scanxiety?
Scanxiety is a horrific, stressful period of when you are due to have scans or imaging scans, whether it be a PET scan, CT scan, bone scan, whatever kind of imaging scan it is. It can be either leading up to anxiety, leading up to having the test done, or for me, it's really the amount of stress and emotion that occurs between having had the scan done and waiting to get the results. It's anxiety.
What's NED?
NED stands for no evidence of disease, which means on imaging, no evidence of the disease that was being treated can be seen. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Could be microscopic, but there's no imaging or there's no evidence on imaging scans.
What is SABCS?
That is the San Antonio Breast Cancer Symposium, which is an annual scientific breast cancer conference held in San Antonio, Texas.
That Janice loves.
That I do love.
What's ASCO?
ASCO is the American Society of Clinical Oncology. They have many different, it's an organization that does a lot of different things. For instance, I am a patient advocate on an ASCO-led CDK4/6 dosing study. So they do clinical research, they do guidelines, they do all kinds of things. But ASCO also has an annual meeting, which is held in Chicago every year in late May or early June. And it is for all cancers. It's a scientific conference that is for all cancers, not just breast cancer.
What's ADC?
ADC is an antibody drug conjugate. So that is a drug class which is newer for breast cancer, metastatic breast cancer. And it basically is a drug that's kind of a three-part drug. There's the antibody that finds the receptor on the cancer cell, there's the linker that attaches it, and there is a payload that is included in there that is released once it has internalized into the cancer cell.
What's IO? Immunotherapy. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
like
what? What is immunotherapy?
Immunotherapy is a targeted therapy for breast cancer that basically uses your own natural immune system to attack cancer cells.
What are checkpoint inhibitors?
Checkpoint inhibitors are, oh gosh, how am I going to explain this one? Are we talking just about CDK4/6s, basically?
Next question, so we can go to that one. What's a
Okay.
CDK4/6?
You know what? I don't really remember what the C and D, but I know that the K is for kinase. But a CDK4/6 inhibitor, which there are actually other CDK inhibitors, what they do is they work on preventing the cancer cells from dividing and multiplying at a certain phase of the cell cycle division, which
This
could
is
be
so
cell
good.
division kind of.
You're so good at this. Oh my god. Okay. What's median survival?
Median survival, it's not average, and I always get tripped up on this. I know it's not median. I mean, it's not the average survival. It's not like 50-50. I can never remember exactly what median means, but when we talk about median progression-free survival or median overall survival in relation to a clinical trial, it's sort of that line where I guess the majority of patients fall into, like if your median progression-free survival is 6.4 months, that was where most people, that's how long they went without having progression of disease. Or median overall survival, same thing. That is when, the majority of people were alive at that time frame, I think.
Yep.
I think.
I think you're right. BFS. What is BFS?
Progression-free survival basically is the time frame from when your disease is being treated until you progress. So with metastatic breast cancer, if you're being treated, you're diagnosed, you're put on a drug, it's the expected amount of time, I guess, or the time that is found in a clinical trial before the majority of people have progression of their disease. So it's that time frame in between while your disease is stabilized, or maybe you have no evidence of disease for that amount of time.
What is DFS?
That is disease-free survival, or sometimes you'll see DFI, which is the disease-free interval, and that can be the time frame, like for me, between when my early stage was diagnosed, I had a disease-free interval of 5 years between when I last was diagnosed with early stage and between my metastatic recurrence.
I think that's all the questions I have for you. Is there a question I should be asking you?
No, I can't think of any.